Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. Is anybody else on the call? Okay, I guess I'll just start, and because this is being recorded, and I will just see what I can do. I believe, yeah. Om Jnana Timirandasya Ganananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sva Parantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasvatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Yes, so today we are reading, if I'm not mistaken, we are reading from the new chapter. We're in Canto 4, Chapter 11, texts 1 through 7. Swayambhuva Manu advises Dhruva Maharaj to stop fighting. Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept mine too, Lavanya Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and our dear Guru Dev. Okay. Did you want to read or for a little bit, or you want me to read?
Yes, Mataji, I can read. First you start, Mataji. I'll join.
Okay. I'll start. Okay, text 1. Maitreya Uvacha Nishamya Gadatam Evam Rishinam Danushi Dhruvaha Sandade Astram Upas Prishya Yanarayana Nirmitam. Translations and purports by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Maitreya said, "My dear Vidura, when Dhruva Maharaj heard the encouraging words of the great sages, he performed the achamana by touching water and then took up his arrow made by Lord Narayan and fixed it upon his bow." Purport. Dhruva Maharaj was given a specific arrow made by Lord Narayan himself, and he now fixed it upon his bow to finish the illusory atmosphere created by the yakshas. As it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita 7:14, Mam eva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. Without Narayan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, no one is able to overcome the action of the illusory energy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also given us a nice weapon for this age, as stated in the Bhagavatam, Sangopangastra. In this age, the Narayanastra, or weapon to drive away Maya, is the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra in pursuance of the associates of Lord Chaitanya, such as Advaita Prabhu, Nityananda, Gadadhar, and Srivas. Text 2. Sandiyamana etasmin maya guyaka nirmita shipram vineshur vidura klesha gyanodaye yata. Translation. As soon as Dhruva Maharaj joined the Narayanastra arrow to his bow, The illusion created by the yakshas was immediately vanquished, just as all material pains and pleasures are vanquished when one becomes fully cognizant of the self. Purport: Krishna is like the sun, and Maya, or the illusory energy of Krishna, is like darkness. Darkness means absence of light. Similarly, Maya means absence of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness and Maya are always there, side by side. As soon as there is awakening of Krishna consciousness, all the illusory pains and pleasures of material existence are vanquished. Mayam itam taranti te. Constant chanting of the Maha Mantra will keep us always aloof from the illusory energy of Maya. Text 3. Tasyar shastram danushi prayunjata suvarna punka kalaham sa vasasa dini Hrista avidishurdri dishad balam yatavanam bima rava shikandina. Translation: even as Dhruva Maharaj fixed the weapon made by Narayan Rishi onto his bow, arrows with golden shafts and feathers like the wings of a swan flew out from it. They entered the enemy soldiers with a great hissing sound, just as peacocks enter a forest with tumultuous crowing. And I'll just do text 4, and then I'll let you do 5, 6, 7, if you want, Mataji. Okay, text 4. I can do 4 and 5, and then you can do 6 and 7 because they're bigger. That's what I'll do. Okay, so text 4. Tai stigma darai pradane shili muker itastata punyajana upadruta tam abhyadavan kupita udayuda suparnam unadapana iva hayaha. Those sharp arrows dismayed the enemy soldiers, who became almost unconscious, but various yakshas on the battlefield, in a rage against Dhruva Maharaj, somehow or other collected their weapons and attacked. Just as serpents agitated by Garuda rushed towards Garuda with upraised hoods, all the Yaksha soldiers prepared to overcome Dhruva Maharaj with their upraised weapons. Text. Well, let's see. Mataji, would you like to take over? Lavanya Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you. Text 5. Satan prastakair abhidhavato mridhe nikritta bahuru sirodharodaran ninaya lokam paramarka mandalam vrajanti nirbityayam urdhvaretasaha. Translation: when Dhruva Maharaja saw the Yakshas coming and cut enemy pieces, arms, legs, released from their bodies, he delivered the Yakshas to the planetary system, which is situated above the sun globe and which is attainable only by first-class brahmacharis who have never their semen. Okay. Purport: to be killed by the Lord or by his devotees is auspicious for non-devotees. The Yakshas were killed indiscriminately by Dhruva Maharaja, but they attained the planetary system attainable only for brahmacharis who never discharged their semen. As the impersonalist jnanis or the demons killed by the Lord attain Brahmaloka or Satyaloka, persons killed by a devotee of the Lord also attain Satyaloka. To reach the Satyaloka planetary system described here, one has to be elevated above the sun globe. Killing, therefore, is not always bad. If the killing is done by the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his devotee or in great sacrifices, it is for the benefit of the entity killed in that way. Material so called non-violence is very insignificant in comparison to killing done by the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his devotees. Even when a king or the state government kills a person who is a murderer, that killing is for the benefit of the murderer, for thus he may become cleared of all sinful reactions. An important word in this verse is urdhvaretasaha, which means brahmacharis who have never discharged semen. Celibacy is so important that even though one does not undergo any austerities, penances, or ritualistic ceremonies prescribed in the Vedas, if one simply keeps himself a pure brahmachari, not discharging his semen, the result is that after death he goes to the Satyaloka. Generally, sex life is the cause of all miseries in the material world. In the Vedic civilization, sex life is restricted in various ways. Out of the whole population of the social structure, only the grihasthas are allowed restricted sex life. All others refrain from sex. The people of this age especially do not know the value of not discharging semen. As such, they are variously entangled with material qualities and suffer an existence of struggle only. The word Urdhvaretasaha especially indicates the Mayavadi sannyasis who undergo strict principles of austerity. But in the Bhagavad Gita 8.16, the Lord says that even if one goes up to Brahmaloka, he again comes back. Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. Therefore, actual mukti or liberation can be attained only by devotional service, because by devotional service one can go above Brahmaloka or to the spiritual world where from he never comes back. Mayavadi sannyasis are very proud of becoming liberated, but actual liberation is not possible unless one is in touch with the Supreme Lord in devotional service. It is said, Harim Vina Naiva Shrutim Taranti. Without Krishna's mercy, no one can have liberation. Text 6. Tan hanyamanan abhivikshya guhyakan anagasaschitra bhurishaha औत्तानपादिं कृपया पितामहो मनुर्जगदो जगाद जगादोपगतः सहर्षिभिः. Translation. When Swayambhu Manu saw that his grandson Dhruva Maharaja was killing so many of the Yakshas who were not actually offenders, out of his great compassion, he approached Dhruva with great sages to give him good instruction. Purport. Dhruva Maharaja attacked Alakapuri, the city of the Yakshas, because his brother was killed by one of them. Actually, only one of the citizens, not all of them, was guilty of killing his brother Uttama. Dhruva Maharaja, of course, took a very serious step when his brother was killed by the Yakshas. War was declared and the fighting was going on. This sometimes happens. This sometimes happens in present days also. For one man's fault, a whole state is sometimes attacked. This kind of wholesale attack is not approved by Manu, the father and the lawgiver of the human race. He therefore wanted to stop his grandson Dhruva for continuing to kill the Yaksha citizens who were not offenders. Text 7. Manur Uvacha Alam Vatsatiroseena Tamodvarena Papmana Yena Punyajanan Etan Avadhistvam Anaghasaha. Lord Manu said, My dear son, please stop. It is not good to become unnecessarily angry. It is the path to hellish life. Now we are going beyond the limit by killing Yakshas who are actually not offenders. Purport. In this verse, the word Atiroshena means with unnecessary anger. When Dhruva Maharaja went beyond the limits of necessary anger, his grandfather Swayambhu Manu immediately came to protect him from further sinful action. From this, we can understand that killing is not bad, but when killing is done unnecessarily or when an offenseless person is killed, such killing opens the path to hell. Dhruva Maharaja was saved from such sinful action because he was a great devotee. A Kshatriya is allowed to kill only for maintenance of the law and order of the state. He is not allowed to kill or commit violence without reason. Violence is certainly a path leading to a hellish condition of life, but it is also required for maintenance of the law and order of the state. Here, Lord Manu prohibited Dhruva Maharaja from killing the Yakshas because only one of them was punishable for killing his brother Uttama. Not all of the Yaksha citizens were punishable. We find in modern warfare, however, that attacks are made upon innocent citizens who are without fault. According to the law of Manu, such warfare is a most sinful activity. Furthermore, at the present moment, civilized nations are unnecessarily maintaining many slaughterhouses for killing innocent animals. When a nation is attacked by its enemies, the wholesale slaughter of the citizens should be taken as a reaction to their own sinful activities. That is nature's law. So, shall I
Wow.
stop here, Mataji?
Yes, that's where we should end for today.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Mataji.
Thank you very much. Okay. So now I don't know what an achamana is, but Dhruva Maharaj, here we are still in the middle of the battlefield, right? I believe between Dhruva Maharaj and the Yakshas. And he took up his arrow. He had an arrow which was made by Lord Narayan, who of course is the Lord himself, and he fixed it upon his bow. Okay. And let me see. So without Narayan's help, or the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there's no way that one can overcome the action of the illusory energy. Now, the same thing has been pointed out by Lord Chaitanya. He's given us a nice weapon, and his weapon for this age is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, okay, which is to drive away Maya. So we are fighting a war too. We're fighting a war against Maya. And so that's basically what the first text is all about. So he was blessed. Dhruva Maharaj was given this specific type of arrow. What was they call it? A Narayanastra, or a weapon to drive away Maya, or in this case, to drive away the Yakshas, was given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Otherwise, there's no way he could have vanquished all of those people, okay, all those entities. So now I'm not sure what this illusion was, but the illusion that was created by the Yakshas was vanquished as soon as Dhruva Maharaj drew the bow, the arrow with the to the bow, okay, and this is actually a metaphor, or if you want, and then to say that all the material pains and pleasures are vanquished when we become fully aware of ourselves, who we really are. Okay, once we know that, then all the pains and pleasures are vanquished. And this is interesting. We can compare, there's a comparison made here in the purport by Prabhupada. He says, look, Krishna's like the sun, and that's light. Maya is illusory energy, or the darkness. So there's this or that. When there's no light, there's darkness or Maya. When there's light, we have Krishna consciousness. And the reality is that we have them side by side. Okay, they're always there, side by side, darkness and light. And so as soon as we awaken our Krishna consciousness, all of our pain and pleasure of this material existence gets vanquished. And it's very interesting. Obviously, the chanting of the Maha Mantra does the same thing. And it's interesting because I've been praying. I was beginning to get a resentment against somebody. It was not fully formed. It was, how can I say, it was a potential to have a resentment. And I just did not want to go there. I did not want to put myself in that position because I know that when I become resentful, I'm in a hellish condition. There's no doubt about it. And so I just started to pray to my Guru Dev and to Prabhupada, please, I don't know how this is going to get resolved, but I'm just leaving it up to you. Please help me with this, because this is something I really have, an issue with one particular person. It's not a devotee, but it's like a quandary that I've been going through with this person for quite some time. Very difficult person. And I just decided to let it go. I mean, that resentment in me, it is like this darkness or Maya, okay? And it can lead me, it takes on a life of its own when you have that kind of darkness. It's this person for me is almost like a cancer that spreads, or like, I don't even think of another word, just very, like a cancer that spreads, let's put it that way. And so I don't want, with Krishna consciousness, I know that I can get into the light. And sometimes I don't know how to get there, but the only thing I have to do is pray. I have to pray to Guru Dev and Srila Prabhupada and chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and they help us. He helped me, I'm telling you, because just yesterday I was, oh my gosh, I was so, I don't know, I felt like inside I was churning this horrible resentment. So that is, that's Maya right side by side to Krishna, always trying to stick it to us, when we're really working hard on something and we think we've got it. There's Maya again to challenge us in our Krishna consciousness. And that's her duty to the Lord, that's her service. So that's what I got out of text 2. And not only in text 3, we don't have a purport, but it says that as Dhruva Maharaj fixed the weapon made by Narayan onto his bow, arrows with golden shafts and feathers like the wings of a swan flew from it. Okay, so let's say, here it is, we've got one bow and arrow, and from this one bow and arrow, which is was made by Narayan, okay, Lord Narayan, the arrows, there were other arrows with golden shafts and feathers. They started flying out of the bow and arrow, okay? And so this is obviously something which is coming from the Supreme Lord. There's no one person who could possibly do that. And it was transcendental, no doubt. So then these arrows that came flying out, they were, they really they dismayed, well, they scared the enemies, okay? They almost became unconscious. They, now, even though these were, many of the yakshas who were on the battlefield, they were so mad, they were in such a rage at Dhruva Maharaj that they collected their weapons and they started to attack, okay? And they wanted to, they were prepared to overcome Dhruva Maharaj with their upraised weapons. And then in this translation, we have this little analogy. Just as serpents, agitated by Garuda, rushed towards Garuda with upraised hoods, all the Yaksha soldiers prepared to overcome Dhruva Maharaj with their upraised weapons. So that's as far as I got. Did you want to continue, Lavanya Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. So here, Dhruva Maharaja is killing the Yakshas, with his arrows, and so all the yakshas are also they are also rushing towards Dhruva Maharaja to come in for and they are trying to defend themselves, and they are trying to um, uh, object Dhruva Maharaja, attack Dhruva Maharaja with their weapons. So here in this verse, number fifth verse, so Dhruva Maharaja is ruthlessly, he is trying to kill all these yakshas because they want to protect themselves, and they are coming in a rage towards Dhruva Maharaja to protect themselves, and by attacking him. And even Dhruva Maharaja is getting more angry, and he's cutting the enemies to pieces. That's what here in the translation it's written, separating their arms, legs, heads, and bellies from their bodies. He delivered the yakshas to the planetary system, which is situated above the sun globe and which is attainable only by first-class brahmacharis. So here Srila Prabhupada is telling in the first paragraph in his purport that so to be killed by the Lord or his by devotees is auspicious for non-devotees. So even though the yakshas are killed by Dhruva Maharaja, they are attaining just like when anybody are killed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just like that, they also attain very high level position, that is attain Brahmaloka or Satyaloka, so directly. So the demons killed by the Lord attain Brahmaloka or Satyaloka. Just like that, the persons killed by a devotee of the Lord also attain Satyaloka. So as we know that the Jnanis, they aim for the Brahman realization or the liberation into the Brahmaloka. Just like that, the non-devotees are also, when they are killed by any devotee, so they attain Satyaloka. So to reach Satyaloka planetary system, one has to be elevated above the sun globe. So, and that means like here in this purport, Prabhupada is trying to say that killing is not bad, but killing, unnecessary killing is bad. So killing with when it is done by Supreme Personality of Godhead or his devotees or in a sacrifice, that is not bad, because that will help those people who got killed. They attain the higher level, higher position. So, but materially, when you kill, that is wrong. So we should not kill anybody without any particular reason or anything. So that's what here Prabhupada is saying. So, but even when a king or the state government kills a person who is a murderer, that killing is for the benefit of the murderer. For others, he may become cleared of all sinful reactions. So we know that that we can say that when we have an authority to punish anybody, so that is not wrong. But when we don't have any authority, then we should not, we are not in a position to correct anybody, then we should not do violence. So that violence which is done through the king or government is for the benefit of that particular the person who is getting attacked. So like here, the benefit of the murderer. So for suppose if anybody kills any person, and if he has to be punished by the law, by the government. So that is for their benefit only. Otherwise, if they don't punish them, so he'll be doing more violence, more killing. So if the government or the king will not stop him, then that is not a that is not a benefit to the society, or that is not a benefit to that particular murderer also. So they are not giving any chance to change that person, or so that's why the authority has to take up this action, this action of correcting that particular murderer. So who does this sin? So that's what my point is. And coming to the next paragraph, so here Srila Prabhupada is telling that Urdhvaretasaha, which means brahmacharis who have never discharged semen. So celibacy is also an important thing. So when one performing austerities, so all the other whatever you do, so without celibacy, that doesn't give any what can I say, that doesn't give you any particular position, high position, or the actual purification, whatever you are doing. So that is not giving effect when you are not celibate. So celibacy is the important point here. So especially the brahmacharis. So they also attain, if any person who remains brahmachari all his life, then he also attains, automatically he also attains Satyaloka. That's what Prabhupada is saying. But when any person goes to Satyaloka or Brahmaloka, he comes back. But again, when he comes back, that is the normal thing. But any person who is a brahmachari, he performs a devotional service, then he goes to the spiritual world. He goes to the spiritual world, where from he never comes back. That's what Srila Prabhupada is saying. The Mayavadi sannyasis are very proud of becoming liberated, but actual liberation is not possible unless one is in touch with the Supreme Lord in devotional service. So it is said that without Krishna's mercy, no one can have liberation. Mataji, 1 second, I'll just come. So this is what I got from this purport, Mataji. So where Srila Prabhupada is explaining about that when Dhruva Maharaja is killing the Yakshas, so the Yakshas are automatically delivered to the higher planets. And also, just like how Brahmachari who remains celibate all his life, he can attain this Brahmaloka. So, but a person, if he is a non-devotee, he'll automatically attain Brahmaloka. But if he becomes a devotee, if he performs a devotional service, because even Brahmaloka, from Brahmaloka, we can come back to this material world to take birth again and to finish our devotional service and then go back permanently to the Goloka. So so that's why if anyone, there is a chance of coming back from Brahmaloka. But a brahmachari, if he takes up the devotional service and if he pleases the Lord, then he is automatically going back to spiritual world. So that's what I got from this, Mataji. And the next verse, 6th verse. So when Swayambhu Manu saw that his grandson Dhruva Maharaja was killing so many of the Yakshas who were not actually offenders, out of his great compassion, he approached Dhruva with great sages to give him good instruction. So it is the responsibility of the family members, or if anything is going wrong here, so then automatically the elders are supposed to give good instructions to the younger people. So that's what here happening. So like when Dhruva Maharaja is going out of control and he is killing left and right all these yakshas, then Swayambhu Manu was got into concern, and he just want to stop Dhruva Maharaja because he is unnecessarily killing. Because when Uttama is killed, only one Yaksha is responsible there, but not all the citizens. So when only one person is responsible, why killing unnecessary all of them? So Dhruva Maharaja has to control himself and he has to control his anger. So one should not punish the whole community or the whole state when one person is wrong. So that was, so in this purport, Srila Prabhupada is writing that this happens in present days also. Yes, we see a lot of things like this. So if one is wrong, then automatically the whole community or the whole state or the whole city is in problem, and people do lots of things like protests or burning down things, all that. So we see a lot in all these countries. So that is not fair. That is not fair. Whoever is responsible, that person should be punished. Otherwise, it's like we are just unnecessary killing all those persons or attacking them unnecessarily. So the father and lawgiver of the human race, the Swayambhu Manu, he's also not approving this one. So Dhruva Maharaja, he's killing so unnecessary all the extra citizens. So who were not offenders, who did not do anything. Even then, because of one person, they are being punished like this. So, but even though they are attaining higher planets, they need not to be punished unnecessarily, right? So, so that's why Swayambhu Manu was coming down with with the help of some other sages bringing them together, so that it should like only if only one person is telling, then he may not listen. But if he has the support of other sages, then then Dhruva Maharaja might listen and immediately, and he'll stop all this. So that's what I was thinking in that way, Mataji. So that is from the text 6. And from text 7. So Lord Manu said, "My dear son, please stop. It is not good to become unnecessarily angry. It is the path to hellish life. Now you are going beyond the limit by killing yakshas who are actually not offenders." So here Prabhupada is mentioning about this word Atiroshena, means with unnecessary anger. So when Dhruva Maharaja went beyond the limits of necessary anger, his grandfather Swayambhu Manu immediately came to protect him from further sinful action. So here from this purport we can understand, or from this verse we can understand that, so we should not become unnecessarily angry. So here Dhruva Maharaja is showing unnecessary anger, which is leading to sinful actions. So killing an innocent person is a sinful action. So that is not approved here. So from this we can understand that killing is not bad, but when killing is done unnecessarily, or when an offenseless person is killed, such killing opens the path to hell. So then Swayambhu Manu, he came here to protect Dhruva Maharaja from that sinful actions. Because he knows that he knows everything, and from an outsider, because Dhruva Maharaja is in that battlefield, he's very angry, he may not able to think at that time, but the other person who is watching him can know that situation, like no, we should stop him. Otherwise, and also we see like in any fights also, when two people are fighting, then automatically a third person will have the ability to think and stop this fighting. Otherwise it may lead to something else. So that's what here's Lord Manu is Swayambhu Manu is doing. So and also a Kshatriya, here Srila Prabhupada is writing about a duty of Kshatriya. So Kshatriya is allowed to kill only for maintenance of the law and order of the state. He is not allowed to kill or violence without reason. Violence is certainly a path leading to a hellish condition of life, but it is also required for maintenance of the law and order of the state. So so here we know that whenever a Kshatriya wants to kill, then he has to kill according to situation, and maintain the law and order of the state, not any unnecessary killing. So and also so that's what here Swayambhu Manu is telling. So we find in modern warfare, however, that attacks are made upon innocent citizens who are without fault. According to the law of Manu, such warfare is most sinful activity. So that's what we'll see in these countries also, where like so many countries, all these bomb explosions or like all terrorist attacks are done, and innocent people are killed. Small children are killed and they are become orphan. So all these things are done. So because people doesn't have any discrimination what they are doing, what they should do, what they should not do, they are not even thinking of anything. Just if they are angry upon one person or one political leader, they are just doing all these things. So so that is not fair. So that is not fair, and innocent people are suffering. So here Prabhupada is saying that unnecessary maintaining many slaughterhouses for killing innocent animals. So that is also very sinful. So that is the main effect which we are facing now. So because innocent animals are unnecessarily killed for the sense gratification of the citizens of the country. So when a nation is attacked by its enemies, the wholesale slaughter of the citizens should be taken as a reaction to their own sinful activities. That is nature's law. Okay, so here that the nature's law is when a nation is attacked by its enemies, the wholesale slaughter of the citizens should be taken as a reaction to their own sinful activities. So this means so I'm thinking like that the king or the government or the persons who are responsible, they will get these sinful reactions because of this unnecessarily killing. So that's what I understood from these verses, Mataji. If you want to add anything, please add, Mataji.
Well, I was just thinking about, yes, during times of war, when one is asked to go to war and one kills, that's one thing, to maintain law and order, etc. In self-defense. There are some reasons with when it is acceptable, but you know the difference. I mean, I remember when they dropped the atomic bomb on Japan. The United States did that. They killed so many people, innocent children and mothers, and their people today are still suffering from that radiation of that bomb to this day, since the 1940s. So you can, this is very sinful when you take it out on everybody for the actions of one or two people. And, I think that's what we're suffering for now. We're maintaining slaughterhouses for killing innocent animals, and we're being attacked by this coronavirus. And I believe that it is a result of the slaughter of the all these innocent animals. Okay, and so all the people who are dying, this is a reaction to their own sinful activity. I really believe that. And yeah, there's a time when one can kill, when one is ordered to kill, when one is maintaining law and order, or someone is trying to attack them or their home or their whatever. But it's another thing to just go out and wholesale start slaughtering people. And I think this can happen to anybody. And Dhruva Maharaj was quite an advanced soul. And yet, once you start acting in this way, you can get carried away. This is why, for myself, I wouldn't even want to start doing something like that. I mean, if I was a Kshatriya, that's different. But, once you start, I mean, Guru Maharaj was explaining something like that this morning. He was saying, when you hang around with poor association, if you're with people that are not good people, you sooner, even though you know the rules and the regulations, you keep hanging around these types of people and you will start to act like them sooner or later. Okay, maybe not full blown, but you will adopt some of those qualities. And so I can see how, with our tendency to make mistakes as jivas, we can, and we're not perfect. We're given this big power with this grand bow and arrow to kill, and it's actually without him even doing anything. All these arrows are flying out of his bow and arrow from Lord Narayan's weapon. He could become relaxed. I'm not saying he did that, but the tendency was to even continue for it to get worse. And that scares me, because I think a lot of human beings do that, So that's all I had to say. It was a very nice class. Thank you, Mataji, Lavanya Mataji. And so I guess that's it. Anyone else?
Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, well, I guess it's time to go unless somebody has a comment. Okay, well, then we'll resume tomorrow with text 8. I don't remember. Yeah, I think I'm doing tomorrow. I'm not positive. I believe tomorrow is my day. So we'll resume tomorrow. Thank you very much for joining.
Yes, Mataji. Thanks.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.